Stuck in the elevator. Mia and her younger brother Jake lived in a tall apartment building. One afternoon, they came home from school and got into the elevator. Their parents were still at work. The elevator was empty except for the two of them and their backpacks. They pressed the button for the 10th floor and waited. The doors closed, the elevator moved for a few seconds, then stopped. The lights blinked once and then stayed on. But the elevator didn't move anymore. At first, they looked at each other. Maybe it was just a short pause. But after a minute, nothing happened. No sound, no movement. The numbers on the wall didn't change. Mia pressed the emergency button. They waited. Jake asked if the elevator was broken. Mia tried to stay calm. She said maybe there was a power problem and the elevator would start again soon. More minutes passed. Still nothing. Mia looked at her phone. There was no signal. She showed Jake. He looked nervous but didn't say much. Mia checked her watch. Only 10 minutes had passed, but it felt much longer. Jake sat down on the floor and opened his backpack. He took out a juice box and gave one to Mia. She smiled and sat down too. They had some snacks, a sandwich, crackers, and apples. It helped pass the time. They started talking. First about school, then about a funny thing that happened during lunch. They talked about their dog and what he might be doing at home. They played a guessing game. Jake said, "Small, green, jumps." And Mia guessed, "Frog." Mia said, "Has a long neck, eats leaves." And Jake said, "Giraffe." Suddenly, the elevator made a small sound. It clicked, but didn't move. The lights blinked again, then stayed on. Jake looked up. Mia held his hand and said everything was okay. They began to notice small things. The quiet fan, a tiny sticker on the wall, a scratch near the buttons. It felt like they were seeing the elevator for the first time. To stay busy, they made up a story. Jake said they were in a rocket going to a candy planet. Mia added that the planet had rivers of chocolate and cookie trees. They kept adding new parts to the story and laughed quietly. An hour passed. Mia pressed the emergency button again. No answer. She knocked on the door. No sound. Jake said he needed the bathroom. Mia said they would be out soon. He nodded and stayed calm. Then they heard a voice from the speaker. It said the building had a power problem, but help was coming. Mia answered loudly. She said they were okay. The voice said a technician would arrive in 15 minutes. Mia told Jake. They both felt better. 15 minutes passed, then 20. Finally, the elevator made a loud sound. The lights got brighter. The elevator started moving, slowly at first, then faster. It stopped at the 10th floor. The doors opened. A man in a yellow vest stood there with a toolbox. He smiled and said everything was fine now. Mia and Jake thanked him and stepped out. They stood in the hallway for a moment. It felt good to be out. They walked to their apartment and went inside. Jake ran to the bathroom. Mia drank water and sat on the couch. Later that evening, their parents came home. Mia told them the whole story. Their parents were surprised, but happy they were safe. Jake shared the Candy Planet part. Everyone laughed. That night, Mia and Jake watched a cartoon together. They sat on the couch with blankets and snacks. They still felt a little tired after the strange day, but they were okay. The next day at school, they told their friends. Some asked questions. Others shared their own small stories. For the rest of the week, Mia took the stairs. Jake said elevators were okay, but not his favorite anymore. Days passed. The elevator worked fine. Nothing strange happened again. But Mia and Jake remembered that afternoon for a long time. A small space. No phone signal. Just the two of them and a quiet adventure. Sometimes the best stories happen when nothing goes as planned, and sometimes being stuck brings people closer.